Hi everyone, Mr. Hersey here. I'm going to try to attempt to do this lab um, on YouTube, so that way, I'll definitely pause the lab as we go through and answer any questions. But I think with all of the talking that I would have to do during this lab, it just makes more sense if you can see my face, if I can save some energy by doing the lab and then showing it to you via YouTube. So we are on activity 1, measurements in science. You should have already written down the cycle purpose, which is on page 8, and you should have written down, and that one was in purple, and you should write down the activity purpose, which is in yellow, which is what we're trying to do today, is answer that question. When you measure something, can you obtain an exact value? Okay, that's the question that we're trying. All our labs pretty much this year are going to be set up similar to this. We're going to have a question. And through the process of the lab, we should be, I bet a lot of you have an idea already. You should be either reinforcing it, or the lab should help you change your stance or your view on what your hypothesis was beforehand. All right, so you had Carlos and Chantel. Carlos was saying, if you're really careful, you could do this, but Chantel is saying, no, there's no possible way. So you should have already filled that one out as well. As I scroll down to the bottom of I put in some pictures, sorry. So under explore your ideas, most years I would have you get into groups, and I let groups go, and they're like, I don't tell them anything. So I just show them kind of the setup, but they just go for it. And string lengths are different. I let them do the weights different. They pull back different. Some of them are going like this, 1, 2, 3, and others are doing it the correct way, 1, 2, 3. It's complete anarchy, okay? But the whole purpose of me doing that the first time is to get a little bit of a chuckle, and also, to come up with that first thing that's going to answer the cycle question, which is how can you tell if a conclusion of an experiment is valid? Well, the first thing you need to do is have a set procedure. If you don't have a set procedure, who cares what your results are? All right. So now we are on making sense of your idea. And it says, why do you think different students in the class obtain different values for their measurements? I didn't have you do this, but I just said, the reason why is because all of us were, in years past, all of them are doing different procedures and different experiments. Okay? And what suggestions do you have for improving the method used to make the measurements? String length is important. You need to have the same string length. If we were doing this, and if we had 5 groups in here, we would need to make sure all 5 groups have the same string length. We're using the same mass. That's a very important one as well. The pullback length is also an important one. All right, so that one becomes important, and I actually think I might find a use for these things. We might be able to, grid out a protractor on here and actually do it, based on angle. That would be kind of cool. So maybe when the coronavirus goes away, we'll still use these. So that's the answer to number 2. Pullback length needs to be the same string length, same mass. Okay, those are it. So number 3 is the method that the class decides. Well, that's me today. And the method that I'm deciding is the string length is 30 centimeters, so you want to put that in on number 3. The pullback length is going to be 15 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my pendulum here, hopefully. Okay, I'm going to put it on the centimeter side. And then I am going to make my little T here. That's at 15 centimeters, and I am going to pull this back to the 15 centimeter side. 15 centimeters, you know, from where it is hanging straight down, or carpenters would call that plumb. And then the mass we are using is 20 grams. All right. Every time I let kids do this the first time, they want to go for like the 500 one. And if I have the 1,000 gram one, let me get this. You know, this is the one that they want to use every time, and I call this one off limits because it's too heavy for the string. Also, it really scares me when this thing's swinging back and forth, and you guys have iPads. You know that it's gonna snap and crack an iPad. All right, so the three big ones are string length for number 3. You should put equals 30 centimeters. Pullback length equals 15 centimeters, and the mass of the pendulum that we are using today is 20 grams. All right. So I'm going to do 3 trials. You guys are going to use your stopwatches to time the 3 trials. Okay. And we'll see how close we can get. Now, theoretically, if we're all using the same pendulum, we should be able to get pretty darn close. I don't know if we'll be able to get to an exact value, but you guys should be able to get pretty close to an exact value here. All right, we ready? So this is trial number 1. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that was the trial number 1. I'll give you a sec to write your number down. Okay, trial number 2. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, stop. All right, I'll give you a minute to write that down. Okay, and then the final trial here. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, stop. All right, so those are your 3 trials. You are going to be expected to calculate the average, and you notice down in bold on that page it says if you don't know how to calculate average at this point, you got to. Okay, that is an expectation of 8th grade science. You got to be able to calculate average. It says right there at least 30 times in my class this year. 30 different labs or quizzes or tests, you will be expected to calculate average. So, you know, you got to be able to do it. And I will warn you, the biggest common mistake people do is this plus this plus this divided by this equals this, and you're getting a larger number than any of your 3 trials. You have to press equals. You have to go trial 1 plus trial 2 plus trial 3 equals and then divide by 3, because the order of operations will just take trial 3 and divide it by 3, and then add trial 1 and add trial 2 to it. So let's say you're getting like 10 seconds all the time, you're going to end up with like 22 or 23 seconds, and that's no good. It's got to be inside your data set here. Okay? Hopefully this will help save my breath a little bit, and we can go over the rest of the lab in class. So I'm going to put you into small groups. You guys are more than welcome to answer the questions, and there'll be a couple of questions that I will answer for the class as well. So that's why you gotta be on Zoom as well. But again, I thought it was just important that to save my breath that I do this lab. All right, take care. Send it back over to Real Hersey.